Hello. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I've been pretty busy and haven't had a whole lot of stuff to record. But I did go to the Ixalan Prerelease this last weekend, which was pretty fun. So I'm going to show you the deck I made, the cards I got, and what I chose not to make. By the way, I also got this awesome playmat, which I used for the first time at the pre-release. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to pause the video, set up the deck, and talk about it. Alright, here's the deck. The curve isn't great, but it's not bad. I don't think it ever really caused too many problems for me, except for having too many of these high drops. Now, it's a 3-color deck. I played 8 games, and out of those 8, only the final and 8th game had any problems for my mana base. I drew all the lands I needed in all the other 7 games. So I think I did pretty good in that regard. I have 2 unknown shores for fixing. Commune with the Dinosaurs is good for fixing, so is Explore. And for the lands, I had 6 plains, 5 mountains, and 4 forests. And for the forest, the only green cards that I included were these 3: Commune with the Dinosaurs, Crash the Ramparts, and Emperor's Vanguard. I probably could have switched it up a little bit, but I mainly really wanted to play Emperor's Vanguard, which unfortunately I only cast once, and whenever I did, it was removed. So that was unfortunate, but it's still a really good card. I suppose first, Dual Shot, probably a mistake to include this in here. It didn't do much for me. It killed a 3/1 dinosaur in one game for me. Otherwise, it did nothing because I had it in for the enraged creatures, but I only had 2 of them, these 2. But I never actually got to use it on them. It would probably work better in a red-green dinosaur deck with a lot more enrage. So probably a mistake in this one. Now before I get into the cards that won me games, let's talk about Pirate's Interdiction real quick. Pirate's Interdiction is an amazingly good card. It worked out way better than I thought it would. It gained me life in a ton of games and really helped me stabilize, and then it gets rid of their biggest threats. I would have lost a lot more games if I didn't have it in my deck. But it itself didn't win games like some of these other cards did. Actually, Sky Terror ended up not being as good as I thought it would be. Just because most of the stuff in this format is like 2, 3, or bigger, I guess. And it just wasn't doing a whole lot. It couldn't do enough damage to matter. Maybe in an aggro deck with a lot more lower costed creatures doing a lot more early damage, it could be better. But it wasn't great in this deck. Treasure Map is freaking amazing. It might have won me 4 games just because of the consistency it gave me. I actually got to transform it in 4 different games. It's amazing. So, pay 1, tap, scry 1, and then it only costs 2 mana to start with. And then after you do that, you can put a landmark counter on it. And after you have 3 landmark counters, it transforms into Treasure Cove. And you also get 3 treasure tokens, which you can tap, sacrifice to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. In Treasure Cove, you can either tap it to add a colorless, or tap and sacrifice a treasure to draw a card. So, 2 mana, then 1 mana to scry for 2 turns, and then on the third turn, you can scry, and then you get 3 treasure tokens. So you're basically paying 1 mana to get 3 mana of any color. You're paying 1 mana of any color to get 3 mana of any color. I think that's better than Dark Ritual, just on that turn. And then the turn after, you can start drawing cards with those treasures if you want, which I did sometimes. Sometimes I sacrificed the treasures for mana. Sometimes I drew cards. It gave me a ton of value. Scry, ramp, and card draw. This thing is super powerful. Let's see. So like I said, Emperor's Vanguard was good, but I didn't really get to use it. Captivating Crew is really good. Most of the time it just got removed because everybody knew it was too powerful, but in one game where it didn't get removed, it won me the game. Pterodon Knight is good even if it doesn't have flying at the time, because a lot of things die to 3 power. So it's pretty good for trading or just killing like 2/3. Like this thing's a 2/3. Looming Altasaur. This thing won me like 3 different games. It's insane. It blocks almost every single thing in the set. A 1/7. And it's only 4 mana, and it's a common. That is one... That might be my favorite card in this entire deck, except for probably Treasure Map. Glorifier of Dusk is good, but I only drew it in one game, but in that game it was a really good finisher for me. It got in with the 4 basically unblockable damage because it had flying, so that was really nice. Suncrown Hunters was okay. I can see why it's a common. A lot of time it's basically like pay 6 mana to kill a creature and deal 3 damage to your opponent, which is good, admittedly, but I was expecting it to do more, but it just basically died, killed a creature, and dealt 3 damage. Bellowing Aegisaur is a really good card. I misread its ability at one time. You have to pay attention to +1/+1 counter on each other creature. This one doesn't get +1/+1 counters. It's all other creatures. Luckily, whenever I made that mistake in the game, it didn't cost me anything, but it's kind of cool. What it did was someone used what was the name of that card? It was a 2/3 that whenever it's blocking or blocked, you can pay 1 and a white, tap it, deal damage equal to its toughness to I think it's a creature or a player. Might just be a creature, but I attacked with this. My opponent blocked with that and activated its ability, so this got dealt damage twice and it died. But it also killed their 2/3 with that amazing ability, and in the process made my Looming Altasaur into a 3/9. So next turn I just started attacking with my 3/9. That was pretty crazy. That might have... I think that was one of the games where the Looming Altasaur won me the game. And these guys are what made me want to go into white. This is amazing. 7 mana for 3/3 dinosaur with double strike. That's not bad. But then also, whenever it attacks, other creatures I control gain double strike until end of turn. So, in practicality, what happened was, if I played this card, next turn, I just started winning the game. Like, it was a little bit of a slow process after that, but there was no way for them to come back after that, because... Let's see, where is it? Here we go, Pterodon Knight. So, these guys won me one game, because it was kind of hard to get them in play and then get them to do something also. But whenever I did get in play, I did Pterodon Knight and a whole bunch of blockers, like 2 Skyblade of the Legions and a Looming Altasaur. Basically, this deck wants to play blockers and then wait to get a Goring Ceratops and then win the game. So in this one case, I played Goring Ceratops, and next turn I attacked with Goring Ceratops and this 3/3 flyer, and just started killing all the creatures because he had to block to stay alive. There's no other way he could do it, and his creatures just kept dying to the double strike. So in like 3 turns, I just won the game. Goring Ceratops is an incredibly powerful card. The only problem is the mana cost is pretty high. But if you can resolve it and then wait a turn, you just win the game. So that was my deck. It was fairly successful. I won 2 rounds, lost 2, and then dropped. But this was one of the best performing pre-releases that I've been to. I'm not sure, but I don't think I've ever done this well at a pre-release. So it was a lot of fun. The cards are powerful and interesting. Now I'll show you the cards that I did not play. First is this one, Herald of the Secret Streams. He belongs either in an Explorer deck, which is mainly black and green, so that didn't work too well, or a Merfolk deck, which has a lot of counters, which is blue or green, and I did not have a good enough amount of Merfolk to do that. I had a lot of pretty good blue ones, but not green ones, and the green ones are the ones with the counters. It's a good card. I might use it someday, maybe not. But it's another in a long line of pre-release cards that I won't be taking out of the packaging just because I have no reason to play it. I must have like, I don't know, maybe 8 cards like this stuck in the packaging now that I have no reason to play. It's weird. Let's see. Here's the Merfolk. So this one's really good and might get a +1/+1 counter. This one's really good. This one's really good. This one's really good. Here's another one. And I had a couple repeats of some of the blue ones. Like, I think I had 2 of basically all these blue ones, which was good, admittedly. And it would have been nice if I had some good green Merfolk, then I could make a really awesome Merfolk deck. But it just, those 8 cards weren't enough, unfortunately. And then I had this piece of flaming shit. Old Growth Dryads, unfortunately. It's a 3/3 for 1 that whenever it enters the battlefield, each opponent may search his or her library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle his or her library. This thing is basically only good in a group hug commander deck, and it makes me so angry that I got this in my pre-release. I just want to rip it up right now, but I don't do that to rare, so I won't, but I really want to. I hate this thing. I mean, I wouldn't normally hate it, I would just ignore it, but I hate that I got it in the pre-release, and it just took up a rare slot and wasted a really good card that I could have gotten, that could have made a difference in some of the games. I also got this awesome foil Swamp. That's pretty cool. It's a bit dark, kind of hard to see, but let me see if I can focus. Oh, there we go, yeah. So there's a giant mushroom on the left, there's a bunch of clouds in the middle, and there's a boat sailing into the horizon, and there's cliffs on the right. It's really hard to see in the foil, but on the regular version you could see it, but I don't have the regular version of this with me to show you. Sorry. I had these, which would have been really nice for a pirate deck, but again, same problem with Merfolk, not enough pirates. This would have been insane if I had more pirates. I would really like to do this. The black wasn't interesting. There were a couple good cards, but not enough. Blue, a couple good pirates. There's the Merfolk duplicates I was talking about. Yeah. White, here's 2, I guess, sideboard cards. Didn't care about them. And here's the cards that here's some of the Oh, there's 2 sideboard cards. And then here's 2 red cards that I chose not to include. I didn't think they were good enough, but they're not bad cards. Here we go. These are the cards that I was on the fence about, but chose to cut them. All of these. So there's a lot of good ones, and I just chose not to play them because I didn't think they did quite enough. They're pretty good. Another Commune with the Dinosaurs, Crash the Ramparts, another Crash the Ramparts. I thought about putting one of these in the deck, but I chose not to. This card is good, but it's kind of expensive and didn't work too well with my deck, so I just chose not to use it. This guy is pretty good, but I don't know, I guess I thought I didn't need any more 2-drops, and it's a pirate. It goes better in pirate deck, so I just chose to cut him. It was real close, though. Oops. This card's not great. Doesn't do much. This one's pretty good, but I didn't really have too many ways to abuse it, and I wanted to cut down on my green cards, so I didn't include that. And then here's another pirate. Not bad, but not good enough, especially not in a pirate deck, or especially in a deck that's not a pirate deck. And I believe that's it. So thank you for watching, and I am going to record a Commander deck opening right after this, so I'll upload that maybe the same night, maybe the next night, maybe a few nights after, who knows, sorry, but that's going to be imminent after you see this video. So thanks for watching, see you in the next video.